Hello everybody, I'm David Bird. Welcome to Halfspin, where we talk about the sport of knife throwing. Today I want to talk about two of the different metals that AceJet uses in their throwing knives. I want to talk to you about the difference between the spring steel and the D2. And really, is the D2 worth it? For this example, I'm using the AceJet Stingers, which is probably AceJet's most famous throwing knives. I have it here in spring steel and I have it here in D2. Let's first talk about the spring steel. Well, spring steel is a very common knife metal used by custom knife makers because it is strong, it is durable, it is a tough steel. You want a knife made out of a tough metal if you're going to be throwing it repeatedly. A lot of the more inexpensive throwing knife companies will make their throwing knives out of stainless steel. Stainless steel is nice because it doesn't rust, but there are two different problems depending on what type of stainless steel you use. If you use a harder stainless steel, it's brittle and can snap. If you use a softer stainless steel, you get dents all over the knives, and then you get burrs that you'll have to file down. When you use spring steel, it's much more durable and it's gonna last longer. The problem with the spring steel is it will slowly rust. It will slowly get a patina on it that you will have to clean up. There are ways to maintenance your knives. You have to oil them or sand them, file them down a little bit, depending on how much rust you end up on your knife. But they are a tough, strong knife that'll probably last forever. D2 is becoming a very popular metal for knives because it is resistant to corrosion. And so you're not gonna rust as fast using the D2 compared to the spring steel, but also the D2 is stronger than the spring steel. So in my opinion, D2 is better all around than the spring steel. And so if you're wondering, is it worth it to get the knife in D2 compared to spring steel? Yes, definitely. AceJet makes very durable throwing knives, but the spring steel Stingers, I have a tendency to bend the tip on it a little bit and have to bend it back. I have never bent the tip on the D2 versions. They are stronger than the spring steel ones. And also, the lack of corrosion just makes them more enjoyable to throw. Another difference, and maybe this is a silly complaint, but if you throw knives for hours, your hands will eventually smell like the steel. And so if you smell the spring steel, you can smell it. It's got kind of a rust smell to it, and your hands will smell like that. But the D2 does not leave an odor on your hands, and they don't smell. I can pick these two up and smell them, and I can tell you exactly which one's the D2 and which one is the spring steel. So in my opinion, D2 is the best metal to make throwing knives out of. It is strong, it is durable, it does not corrode. I mean, all around, this is everything that you'd want in a throwing knife. And so if you're trying to decide between the spring steel and the D2, definitely go for the D2. I think it is worth it. The problem is not all of AceJet's knives come in D2. All of the ones that do come in D2, I bought the D2. So I have all of the models that come in D2 in D2. But some of their models only come in the spring steel. And that's not a terrible thing. The spring steel, again, is a good metal for a throwing knife. It's what most custom knife makers make their knives out of. But I think the D2 is better. All right, everyone, I hope I was able to answer any questions that you have between the spring steel and the D2. If you have other questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.